Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this herringbone bracelet made with SuperDuos. So how cool is that? This is something that's been around for a long time. I just haven't done it yet. And I know we've been having so much fun with doing some more beginner videos. So I think this is like a perfect little addition to our herringbone, because we recently did the herringbone with Ados. All right, so I'm going to just get right into it. So let me get some materials going and we'll get started. Okay, let's get materials list going. So you'll need some SuperDuos, and I'm doing the stripe version. So two of my stripes are going to be the same color, so I just need 3 colors. But if you want to do 4 different colors, just do 4 different colors SuperDuos. You can do all one color, you can just do a mixture, you can do random, anything you like. So you'll need some 11/0 seed beads, some 15/0 seed beads. You need a clasp, and I'm using this 2-hole toggle clasp. So it's 2 rings. So, but you can really use any clasp you like. You're going to put them on pretty much the same way, no matter what you put on. And putting on the toggle bar, I use some Rolo chain. So I'll be showing you both ways. You can either add the Rolo chain or not, or just do it seed beads. I thought it might be fun to try it. This is a 4mm Rolo chain. You can't, just make sure you have 4 or 5 links, so 2 pieces 4 or 5 links long. I just have 1 long piece here. Some 8-pound fire line. I'm using black satin, size 10 beading needle. Did I say stop bead? There you go, that's it. So I'm going to clear this off and we'll get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell if you enjoy my channel. And don't forget that everything is listed down below, all colors. Everything that you need to make this will be listed in the description box below the video, so don't forget to click the down arrow, the show more, the whole deal. The box will open bit. All right, so let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So thread your needle with about 5 feet of thread, put on a stop bead, and leave about a 10-inch tail. We'll use that tail a little bit later. We'll add the clasp separately, but we'll finish off the end using that tail. So I've put on my needle and dropped down to my stop bead, 2 11/0s, a gold SuperDuo, 2 11/0s, a green, 2 11/0s, a blue, 2 11/0s, and another gold. So I'm going to have a stripe pattern going on, and that will be, I'll have 2 gold stripes at the end and then a green and a blue stripe in the middle. Just thought it might be easier for you to follow along. So I'm just going to take those, I just want to situate them. I'm holding them kind of like this. The first couple of rows on this is it's a little challenging, but we'll get it. So pick up 2 15/0s. We're just going to decorate the outside of this bead. So we're exiting the bottom of that gold one, so through the top, like that. Then you're going to pick up an 11/0 and a gold. If you're doing this pattern, you can do any pattern you like or no pattern at all. So 11/0 and a gold SuperDuo. You want to sew through these 2 beads here. So this is why this part of the pattern is a little crazy, but once you're done with this, it gets so easy. So I'm going through the 2 11/0s plus the top hole of the next SuperDuo. So like that. Hold it, pull that through, and when I pull, this is what happens. So you see how that one I put on is sitting above the previous one, and you want to make sure all your holes are up, so the opening is up. I'm going to pick up an 11/0 and then the bead I'm exiting, which is this blue one, and I'm going to do what I just did with the gold one. I'm going to sew through these 2 and the top hole of the next SuperDuo. See if I can straighten that out a little bit. Try to hold on to the piece as you pull it so it doesn't get all out of shape. It's going to look out of shape anyway. So this is what we have. So when you pull it, again, I have this SuperDuo that I just put on facing up, and this one, the previous one, is facing down, and I'm exiting the top hole of the green one. Pick up an 11/0, pick up the color of the bead I'm exiting, so I'm exiting a green, I'm going to pick up a green, I'm going to sew through the next 2 11-ohs and the top hole of the next super duo, which is the gold one at the end. Get those 2. I missed one. There we go. Give that a pull. See what happens when I pull it. It's like that. That's what it looks like. Make sure it doesn't pop over because you want all the super duos with the holes open, sticking up. Like that. Now we have to put one more super duo on. I'm going to pick up an 11-oh and a gold. And I don't have a super duo to sew it through, so I'm just going to put it on this way. I'm just going to sew through these 2 11-ohs. Like that. Holding it. And then pulling it. I'm going to pull it tight. And this is what it looks like. So just see how it looks all kind of curvy, but that's okay. Just want to make sure that all the super duos that have the top hole are facing up, open. The top hole open are facing up. So I'm just going to let you get to this point and then come back and we'll continue. Okay, we're back. So before we move on, I just want to make sure you're situated properly. So make sure this is what it looks like. It's supposed to curve like this. It will all straighten out later. You want to make sure that all the super duos you put on, the hole at the top is up right here. So the hole is right up here. If your beads happen to twist over and go, these happen to be facing down, push it back up. This is what it should look like. So you can pull on it, you can play with it a little bit, and to make sure that they're all sitting like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it around this way so I can work in this direction. So this is what I have. I'm going to pick up 2 15-ohs to decorate the edge of this bead. I'm exiting these 2 11-ohs. Just put them on. Don't worry about it. It's going to look weird until we get everybody, everything situated. This is one of those you got to have faith pieces. It's going to look good. All right, now pick up an 11-oh and a gold bead. So the one you're exiting, this is where it gets easy. You're going to sew through this 11-oh and then the green super duo. So the next super duo, the top hole of the next super duo. Put that into place. Don't worry about any thread showing at the moment. Don't worry about anything. Just keep moving. Picking up an 11-oh and the bead I'm exiting, which is the green one. Sewing through this 11-oh and then the top hole of that next super duo, which is the blue one. It's already starting to straighten out. Pick up an 11-oh and then the super duo I'm exiting. Sew through this 11-oh and then the gold super duo. So this is to get the stripe pattern. If you're doing just a regular O's pattern, whatever color you're doing, you're going to make your own pattern or do all one color. And then an 11-oh, the color I'm exiting, which is the gold. So I have 11-oh and a super duo. So because I want to get that last super duo on, I'm going to sew through this last 11-oh seed bead right there. Just put it into place. When I pull, see what happens? Look how fast that starts to come together. So it goes from this curvy thing to something really pretty. So now I'm just going to flip it over, just so I'm sewing in this direction, comfortable for me. I'm going to pick up my 2 15-ohs. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the super duo. Just like that, just to decorate it. And now we're just going to do this again. 11-oh. Super duo, so the color I'm exiting to get my stripe. Sew through the next 11-oh and the top hole of the next super duo. This part is so easy. Now the whole bracelet, this is the whole bracelet now. 11-oh, color of the super duo I'm exiting. Sew through this 11-oh and the top hole of the next super duo. Pull, pop that into place. 11-oh, color I'm exiting. Through the next 11-oh and the top hole of the next super duo. 11-oh, color I'm exiting. Just sew through this one, the 11-0 at the end. Get that Super Duo on. That's what I have. It's going to flip it this way again. I'm going to put on 2 15-0s, just decorate the side, go through the top hole of the Super Duo I'm exiting. And that's it. This is what you're going to do all the way down. Should we do one more row just because it's so much fun? 11-0, Super Duo I'm exiting, through the next 11-0 and the green one, 11-0, color of the Super Duo I'm exiting, through the next 11-0 and then the blue one, so the top hole of the following one, 11-0, blue one, through the 11-0, and then the top hole of the next Super Duo, 11-0, gold one, just through this 11-0 at the end. Turn her over. 2 15-0s. Decorate the end. You can do 2 11-0s, you can do anything you want there. This is what it looks like. How easy is that? You're just going to repeat all the way down. Repeat that last row. Keep repeating until you are at the length of your bracelet minus the size of whatever clasp you're using. And don't forget to put it around your wrist a lot, just to make sure, that your length is good. Okay? All right. So have fun playing with that. Just a blast once you get past that 3rd row. So have fun and then come on back and we'll put a clasp on. Okay, we're back. So I have my piece done. Now my piece measures just the beading part. It's about almost 5 3/4 of an inch. And then my clasp is going to add on enough to make it 7 inches. So this sample is going to be a 7-inch bracelet with the clasp, maybe even slightly larger. So just make sure you're fitting it to your wrist or whoever's wrist you're making for. Make sure you're fitting it well. What you can do also is, I didn't have one handy, is you can purchase a toggle clasp like this that has a few rings, so you can make it adjustable. And I'll see if I can find one for you and put a link in the description box. So that way, if you want to make it adjustable, in case you're worried about sizing, you can do that. But we're gonna use this in a little bit. First, I want to end off the beading. So if you notice on the where we began, we have 2 seed beads in between each Super Duo. So we just want to mimic that here. So I'm exiting. I put on my last row. I put on the 2 side beads here, the little 15-0s, and went through the top hole of the Super Duo. Now I'm just going to pick up 2 11-0s, and I'm just going to add those to the top in between each Super Duo. Like that. And when I get to the end, I'm just going to pick up 2 15-0s and just decorate the end here. Either side they're different. So I'm just decorating it to get it to look, just sort of finished on that side. And then all you want to do is sew in this thread because we're going to add the clasp on separately. I'm going to take my stop bead off the other side. This is where I have, this is where we began. And I'm just I want to sew this thread in. We really don't need it to do anything at the end here because we already have our 2. So originally I was thinking of using it at the end, but we're just going to sew this in and add the clasp on separately. So I'm going to sew through these 2 11-0s and then maybe through this 11-0 here and the Super Duo underneath it. So all I'm doing is moving the thread out of the way so I can sew it in. And I'm just going along a thread path here. So I'm looking where my thread is coming out and I'm just sewing through those beads. And then when you get to a point where you think your thread is far enough away and you're ready to sew it in, you can go around your Super Duo. So coming out of here, go up through here and around, and then through these guys. Just weave your thread around a bit. You can tie a couple of half-hitch knots and then end your thread off, and this is what we'll have. So do that and then come back and we'll add on. Let's add on the toggle loop end of the clasp. So I have added on to my loop end some jump rings just so that my thread will be going in this direction. Okay, if you have a clasp that already has the rings in that direction, that's great. So I'm just going to put this down here. So I've threaded my needle with about 1.5 feet of thread, maybe a little more. You want to leave a nice long tail because you really want to reinforce when you sew in, because this isn't a very open weave. See that? And you want to make sure that this clasp is going to be sewn in nicely. I suggest knots, you know, 1/2 inch knots with this one for sure. All right, so I'm just going to lay this here. I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s, and I'm just going to sew through inside out the ring. Like that. And here, let me see if I can pull it a little tighter for you. All right, so I have on, what happened to my two? Oh, there we go. Okay, here are my 2 11-0s. I'm going to sew through this way. Sewing through the ring, like that. 2 11-0s, sewing back through the SuperDuo I'm exiting. Like that. And you want to make sure that that ring sits in between 2 beads. You don't want it on the thread like that. You want it sitting in between the 2 beads. Push that guy in there. And you want to make sure when you're reinforcing that that is always staying there. You believe me, you'll be happy that you did. All right, so let's reinforce by going through that, the beads and the ring again. And if it pops out, don't worry about it. You're just going to pop the ring right back in between those beads. Like that, and you know, you might want to do this a few times. Make sure I'm in frame here. Okay. Here. And then make sure that it's right in between two. See how I pushed it in a lot? And then you might want to even go through a 3rd time. There. And these two, all the while holding it so that the beads stay within the ring, and then you want to sew back through your SuperDuo and through the next 2 11-0s and the next SuperDuo, if you get them at the same time. Like that. Now you're nice and secure, and you're going to do the same thing with this one. 2 11-0s, sew through the ring this way. 2 11-0s, back through the SuperDuo. I don't mind my little thread sticking out there. I've used this piece for a lot of practicing, so I have a couple of threads hanging out, but you shouldn't. Here we go, back through, just like we did before. Making sure that that ring is popping in between the beads. Make sure you pull it back through the SuperDuo and these 2 11-0s at the end. That's super secure now. And then all I'm going to do is just weave my thread around, and I'm going to tie 1/2 inch knots all along here, just so that it's nice and secure. And always look back and make sure that those rings are sitting right in between the 11-0 seed beads, so that you're not hanging on a thread. Okay, and then sew this thread in really well, tie some knots, and then come on back and we'll work on the toggle bar. We're back. So we're going to do the other side of the clasp. Now you can do it exactly the same way we did this side, by putting on, so we've sewn through the beads, and we're coming out of one of these 2 SuperDuos in the middle. And remember, so we added 2 here, but you're going to want to add more than 2 for the toggle, because in order to get the toggle through, you need a little space here. So you'll have to add maybe 4 or 5 beads on each, you know, through each ring on each side to give yourself some space. So I thought, what if we took a little piece of Rolo chain? I'm going to use that instead. I don't know if it's going to work, so, you know, do it the other way if you like, you know, with the beads, just like we did the other side, only add more beads. Or we can try cutting a piece of Rolo chain, and I made sure the last link of my Rolo is facing this way, so my thread will go through this way. And I'm just going to give it a try, see what happens. 2 11-0s. So here's my piece. I'm going to come through the bottom piece of my Rolo, and then 2 more 11-0s, see if that works. And then we're going to go right through the other side of the SuperDuo. And can I push that down? Yes. So let's see if that works out. That's cool, huh? All right, let's go back up to attach it better, you know, to sew through, you know, the beads we just put on. In fact, you should do that on the other end too. I'm not sure I did that. You know, so it's nice and tight, like that. Okay, and then we're just going to work our way. You can even do that 3 times down this way. And then I'm just going to attach the other side. Come here, you. Here we go. Picking up 2 11-ohs. Two more 11-ohs. Could work. Go back around. Through the loop, through the SuperDuo, just like that. And then when you're done, you want to make sure that this is super connected really well. So go through the SuperDuo here, or you can go through these 11-ohs, and you want to do a lot of reinforcing here. And that way, let's see, will that go through? That will go through really easily. In fact, I may even be able to use one less. So I think that will work out if you want to, but if you don't want to do it that way, just use the beads, and that works out just as well. All right, so finish this up, and then come on back, and we'll finish everything up. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and here's our bracelet. So that worked out pretty well. I think I like adding on these, the little Rolo chain, but I think I could have put one less loop on, and it would have been fine. Just make sure it's facing in the right direction. So I haven't sewn my threads in yet, so when you attach it, it stays, you know, it's nice and secure. Or just do the beads here. Yeah, it doesn't matter, whichever one you like. All right, so here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a lot of fun. We'll be adding more sort of beginner, more simple pieces on, you know, and mixed in with, you know, some more fun bezels and such too. All right, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.